What's up, guys? I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to get in here because I said I would start at 1 o'clock, so I'll give people a few minutes to come in. Benji, where's Bitcoin? Where's DigiByte going? Up or down? What do you think? By the weekend, up or down? I fixed my mic, so you guys shouldn't have any volume problems. Flat? Yeah, probably. Probably flat. But, alright, I took some notes recently. So let's see how this goes. I'll try to keep it shorter than last week, which was about 30 minutes. All right, so last week the price action broke up over the 55 EMA on the daily chart, and then we basically we moved sideways from there. We thought we could retest some of these lower EMAs, which we did, and then a couple days ago, the 15th, which was I don't even know when that was, Tuesday. Tuesday we broke back below the EMAs, and then we continued to get below them on yesterday's candle. So right now we were below the middle Bollinger Band and all the EMAs, but the past hour I think we kind of had a nice pop off, or a nice hour or two. Yeah, so the past couple hours are pretty decent. We got back up over the middle Bollinger Band on the daily chart. We got to see where we close there. Our EMA ribbon is kind of pointing downwards, which is slightly bearish, but we do have this uptrend line that we have to kind of maintain, in order for us to keep this uptrend going. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, so we fell back below the 8 EMA on the weekly, but we did get a bounce off this support level, like around, it's about 75 hundredths of a cent. So we still have a few days left to close this week. You guys can see that Bollinger Bands are starting to tighten back down again. Let me see what I got in my notes. Daily RSI. So we'll go back to the daily. We'll take a look at the RSI. We'll get rid of the Bollinger Bands. We'll get rid of the ribbon. Let's take a look at the RSI. All right, so we kind of broke over this area here. Let me get a horizontal line, which was some resistance from, for quite some time. We haven't been over it. We haven't been over it significant time since like June. We struggled with that, 50 RSI line for a while. We broke over it October 7th, retested, bounced, which gave us this high here, and then we broke back down below it, and now we're actually retesting it again to see if it's actually going to be resistance, or if it was a fake out and we'll get back over it. So we got to see how that plays out. If that actually breaks down, you're probably gonna you'll see this trend line break, and then we have to see if this trend line holds, because this is actually a big support line. It was support through September. We broke down below it. It took us a little bit to get back over it. It was also support back in December of last year. We kind of fell into that area again in February, and we had a big cupping action back in November of 17 there too, and even prior to that, July. So this is a big area to hold. If it doesn't hold, we could potentially double bottom there and come back to these lows here, like around 0.6 of a cent. We could double bottom there, possibly set a higher low on the RSI, and we'll get some bullish divergence there, and maybe we could continue the uptrend from there. Let's see the MACD. We'll take a look at the MACD. Oh, by the way, congratulations, Josiah, on your 100th episode of the DigiByte updates, which is really cool. So if you guys, I'm sure you guys are all following him on Twitter and stuff, but if you're not subbed to his YouTube, go over there, Josiah Spackman, and he does, he pretty much does it every day. I think he said on today's video, he said he missed like 3 days to pass 100 or something like that. So very impressive. Congratulations, and keep up the good work. All right, so we are in positive territory for the MACD. You guys could see here we're above the zero line, and now we're coming back down to see if we can, keep that signal line as support, or if we break below it, and then we fall back into negative territory. So we got to look out for that area. Yeah, your histogram's been ticking down since the 13th of October, so like three candles ago, 4 candles. So we have to see if that holds as support. So if we get a nice bounce there, then we'll keep going up. Let's see. So the price action versus USD is a little bit more bearish because we are under those EMAs. Like I showed you guys just now, we're under pretty much all the EMAs. We have to see how this daily closes, if we could kind of inch up a little bit more. But we're under all those EMAs. If you look at the BTC pairing, it's definitely more bullish than the USD pairing. So we could potentially see some further downside in the USD pairing. But if we maintain our strength with the BTC pairing, then our SAT levels will pretty much stay the same. So we could lose some in USD value, but our SATs could stay the same. So I'll go over the BTC ratio in a couple minutes. I just want to show you guys these areas of support for DigiByte. So we got this diagonal uptrend line to hold. If that fails, then we could potentially see this area again, which isn't too much downside. I think it's 4 or 5%. Let's see. Yeah, so from our current levels, so you're looking at about 5% down, back to that support level. And if that breaks, we could see these levels get tested, like 70 hundredths of a cent, which will be around 12% downside. And then if that doesn't hold, we could probably see a double bottom, maybe 20% downside. This is on the USD pairing. So we'll have to see how that holds. Yeah, so the main concern now is to get back over these EMAs. The ribbon is still bullish because they are set up correctly still. They haven't all crossed over yet. But, since we're under the EMAs, it's definitely best that we break back over those within the next day or two, or else those will start to, your shorter time frames at 813, those will start to downtick, while the 2134 stay flat, and then the earlier time frames at 813 will fall under those other ones, and then the 55 will stay pretty much flat up top. So we got to get back over those, get the shorter time frames to start ticking back upwards, and then move up from there. But this candle setup is pretty nice. It's almost like a tweezer bottom, and almost it's pretty much bullish engulfing if we get up a little bit higher. If we could possibly close somewhere close to that 8 daily EMA, but we'll have to see. There's still 7 hours left on this candle, so we'll have to see how that goes. And then the weekly MACD. Let me pull up the MACD again real quick on the USD pair. All right, so yeah, it still hasn't crossed the signal line yet. So if we do get, that is actually looking like it's gonna bounce and then fall back down. But if we close the week pretty strong, we might get, that to cross. But they're basically touching now and we're still in negative territory. So we haven't crossed zero yet. You know, zero's up here, and we do have some bullish divergence though. You know, we did make a lower low on price while our MACD is up much higher than what it was back in December. So we'll have to see how that goes on the weekly. This looks like a long-term sideways play for me. Something like what I was talking about last week. We're definitely somewhere in this area, it looks like. But it's all really dependent on Bitcoin right now. I'm going to show you guys the comparable chart between like BLX, which is Bitcoin long-term chart, versus DigiByte, and you guys could see kind of how DigiByte reacts with Bitcoin. So it really hasn't broken away from Bitcoin, and it might take quite some time for that to happen. So I'll show you guys how those work. Yeah, but I definitely think we're in this flat area here, right before. But it all depends on what Bitcoin's going to do. If Bitcoin closes the year strong, you'll definitely see DigiByte move. All right, we'll go to the DigiByte Bitcoin pairing now. Yeah, so if you look at the weekly on the Bitcoin pairing, it broke below the 13 EMA, but it wicked there a little bit, and now it's trying to get back above it. So which that is at 100 sats, and we're at 100 sats now. So we're pretty much sitting on it. So if we could close a week, 100 sats, 101, 102, something like that, you have your histograms continuing to uptick, your MACDs continuing to diverge away from the signal line. That's why your histogram is showing that. So basically, this is showing you a divergence. All right, and that's what MACD stands for: moving average convergence and divergence. So as it diverges away from each other, your histogram goes up. As it comes back together, that's when you start leveling back off, going back down towards zero. The daily EMA band has a full fan out, so we'll look at that. Yeah, so we crossed the 35, crossed the 34, a couple days ago. So we have that fan out. It's not a terrible thing that we're below some of the shorter time frame moving averages, but if they start to converge again and start crossing again, then it's definitely gonna be more bearish. It's looking a little toppy right now, honestly, but let's see. Yeah, so your major support's at 90 sats, which is where I have this purple line here, which was basically a line we've been messing around with since August, since the second day of August. We wicked it, 4 or 5 days in a row, fell below it, and then it took us 3 attempts to break over it. We tested it a couple days here, and that's going to be your major support. If that doesn't hold, then we'll have to look for lower areas on our BTC pairing. This could actually put maybe even a head and shoulders in. So if you guys see here, you get a shoulder there, your head, if it comes back down to retest 90, another shoulder, then it'll break down and maybe retest this low here, possibly. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Yeah, so let's see. So this will actually play into this RSI pattern as well. So you guys can actually draw patterns and stuff on your indicators as well. It's not just a price action thing. So if you look at the RSI, yeah, so you could kind of look at it like this. Right, so you have support level there. You could actually draw a head and shoulders here, right? Now, if we get a bounce off of that and we get a lower price action, that's going to create a bearish divergence. So you're going to see a So if we don't actually come back down here on price action, on pairing action, if we actually use these EMAs as support and then make another high like that, that could look like this on RSI, give you a lower high on RSI, and that'll give you bearish divergence. All right, so you're basically making a higher high with your pairing, a lower high on your RSI, and that could potentially be a signal for some weakness and a drop. So we got to see how all these indicators play out. The moving averages work really well. As long as they're used as support. If you look back like in 2017, DigiByte used, I believe it was the 13 as support for a real good portion of that. Oh, nice, a telemarketer's calling me. Go fuck yourself. Excuse my language. Yeah, I think it was the 13. Let me see. Yeah, it used the 13, and it wicked towards the 21 a couple times. So there, and then, it back over there, but. So it definitely looks bottomed, honestly, just based on its past moves. If it's not bottomed, it'll, do a double bottom down here. 70 sats again, maybe 68, something like that. But this pretty much looks like a flat bottom. The problem is there's not a lot of volume. If you look on CoinMarketCap, it's saying 3.5 million in volume, 3.4 million in volume. But if you look at the markets and stuff, you're getting 50%, over 50% of your volume is coming from whatever this is, Bitinka, which is like a Latin exchange. And they're actually having reports of withdrawal issues. So those are the two highest pairs for DigiByte right now, doing 52% of your volume on a shady exchange. And then they also have another pair down here, 1.5%, 1.5%, 0.5%. So all in all, you're looking at about $2 million in volume on a shady exchange. So CoinMarketCap is kind of on luck. They got Ty Lopez as their spokesman here. That's not Ty Lopez, but it looks like him. So right off the bat, it looks shady. But let's look at Crypto Compare. They have DigiByte. I don't know how they do their rankings because it's not based on market cap, but they have DigiByte as 153, and they're showing only, they're showing less than 400,000 in volume, which is 10x less than what CoinMarketCap is showing. So CoinMarketCap showing 3.4 million. Yeah, almost. And Crypto Compare showing 400,000. So it's almost a 10 times difference. So take those take that information and do as you like with it. But it's kind of weird the way a lot of people don't like to use CoinMarketCap. I mean, I don't really like it either, but it is what it is. But if you guys look at the Bitcoin dominance is actually dropping, so alts could be popping off a little bit. Yeah, so you have that bearish flip on the EMAs on the Bitcoin dominance, and it basically lost support here, and it retested it, but now it's getting bearish pressure from the EMAs. So this could potentially fall down to this area here, something like that, right around 66%. So you could get a 2-3% drop in your Bitcoin dominance, which will flush a lot of money into alts. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But look at that long-term trend for dominance. Looks like a big ass rising wedge to me. So if that actually comes back down here, you're looking at 64% dominance. And then if that rising wedge breaks, look at early 2018 when the dominance was down to 35%. But let me show you guys a BLX chart. with a DigiByte BTC comparison overlay. Let me hide the EMAs, and we'll throw up DigiByte BTC. I like to use Poloniex. And let's set this up for highs. Okay. So, so basically, DigiByte's first on both, both fractals basically. So, DigiByte's first pump is usually the one that far exceeds Bitcoin's move. So they move together, but Bitcoin goes absolutely nuts. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Kid. Got to pick up the kids later. So Bitcoin's, Bitcoin moves. DigiByte moves with it. But DigiByte does a far greater move. And then on Bitcoin's next huge parabolic move, DigiByte moves too, but it's not nearly as much. So if you make those trades between Bitcoin and DigiByte, that first move is the one to look for, because it happened here and it happened here, right? Then it dumps back into BTC. BTC goes nuts, it goes parabolic. DigiByte moves as well, but that's a big difference there in sats. That is, yeah, so you were at 2,600 sats, and then the next move was 830. So that's a huge difference. So something like that, 70% difference. So if you could catch that first pump on DigiByte, then it'll be worth your while if you are making those trades to BTC. I think one more thing here. Yeah, so we're still above the middle Bollinger Band on the DigiByte Bitcoin pairing, which is good. The Bollinger Bands haven't tightened up yet. And it's probably going to take a while to grind back up in this area, because we had like almost like a bull pennant. I mean a bear pennant here. So if you guys look at this, say from here there, you pretty much had a bear pennant there. So there's a lot of activity in this range here, in the 100 to 120 sat range, maybe even up to about 124. So this could take a while to grind out before it breaks out. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Overall, I mean, DigiByte definitely looks bottomed. Not necessarily bottomed, but it could go lower than what it's at now. But you're not going to see 50, 70, 90% drops. So basically, it depends on what your risk tolerance is. 100 sats is a great price. I think we could probably get back down to 90 and retest that again, just because this is such a high activity area. So we could get down there. That's a 10% drop from here. Or we could get back down to 75. That's 25%. So it's all about risk tolerance. Risk tolerance. This is not not financial advice, but this is a good area to accumulate DigiByte for sure. Before the next bull run kicks off. Overall, I would say it's probably more neutral than anything. It's not really. The pairing is bullish. The USD pairing is bearish, I would say. So, all that really means is that DigiByte is probably going to hold up pretty well against Bitcoin if Bitcoin drops. We'll get a USD drop, but the ratio could, fluctuate less. We'll say that. So if 90 sats holds, then that is, 100 sats is a great entry. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I think I kept this pretty short, hopefully, for you guys. I hope the volume was better since I adjusted that a couple days ago. And that's pretty much it. If anything happens crazy, I'll do a live stream. But other than that, I'll try to do them weekly. And it's probably just going to be some sideways, boring stuff for the next couple months, maybe. Bitcoin's pretty boring right now. Just Bollinger Bands are tight on the daily, which is nice. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. To me, Bitcoin looks a little bearish. I could definitely see it going to like, I don't think it's going to go that low. I could see like maybe 73, 7,400, something like that. I don't think it's going to get down to 5,700. That's crazy. Yeah. But, I mean, DigiByte, like I showed you guys with that chart, that comparison chart, it waits on Bitcoin. So it's going to wait on Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin starts to move up, I think if we break 9K again and hold that as support, then I would say DigiByte's probably going to make its slow climb. And then if Bitcoin really breaks out, it doesn't have to be a crazy breakout. I'm not saying Bitcoin has to go to all-time highs for DigiByte to go nuts. But if you looked on that BLX chart, it was a slow climb. I think that was right around this move here, where DigiByte went nuts. So I mean, that's not a crazy move. We could be somewhere around there now with Bitcoin. Made its move up, a lot of sideways movement. We could be somewhere like that. Maybe early December, January, something like that. We start to climb. Halving is in May, I believe. So you'll definitely get some excitement around that time. This could be like a halving pump, halving dump. And then at the end of next year, we see, some more rise. But that's about it. I'll keep you guys posted if anything crazy happens. If not, I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully you got some good information from this video. And hopefully it was short enough and not too boring for you. So if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.